Stop! It's brake booster time. So what I'm doing today is I am installing a brand new brake booster on my 1975 Ford Bronco. The brakes on these old classic cars, they're fascinating to me. I mean, if you think about it, the amount of force that you're pushing down on the pedal to stop this enormous heavy vehicle is pretty amazing. And I already talked about the disc brake proportioning valve. So if you haven't checked out that video, check it out. But today what I'm going to talk about is the brake booster. I'm going to install this, and the reason that I'm doing this, when I took everything off of my Bronco, my brake booster didn't work. When I was putting everything back on, my master cylinder began leaking brake fluid into the brake booster. And so I got this one from Tom's Bronco Parts. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check it out as well. This is the brake booster and the master cylinder and the bracket. Inside of here, you have a large diaphragm. I think on this one, it's like an 8-inch diaphragm. And so when you push the brakes, that diaphragm seals up. And then the vacuum from your engine begins to assist you in the stopping force. So it's like there's a giant balloon in here. Well, I guess it wouldn't really be a giant balloon because a normal size balloon would fit in here. But just imagine if there was a balloon in here and it was filled with air, and then you hook up the vacuum from the engine to the balloon, and what it does is it sucks all the air out. Well, what that does is it pushes the push rod, and that diaphragm closes and collapses, which brings the push rod forward, which helps assist you in putting pressure on the master cylinder. They started putting these standard in the Bronco in like 76. So my 75 didn't, I don't know if it came with it standard or not. There's an old one on here, so maybe it did, or maybe it was an upgrade. So, are you ready? Let's install this thing. First thing you want to do before removing everything is measure the distance from your floorboard to your brake pedal. Mine is about 6.5. Then start removing everything. You good? The next thing you want to do is take your old rod and make sure that the new rod is the same length. This rod is the one that will determine where your brake pedal sits on the floor. So if ever you feel like your brake pedal is too high or too low, you can go in and mess with this. You just want to slide the new boot on to the old rod. Because this thing's so heavy, I think it's going to be easier to go ahead and put this in the dash, reconnect it, and then put my brake booster on. So then this slides in like that, and then the pin goes through here. So it's actually pretty easy. If you're trying to remove this, you slide the whole thing off of the pin together, and that's how it goes together. And then to put it back in, put this piece in there and slide it back on that pin under your firewall. Now with the brake booster out, I'm going to install the brake lines because it's going to be a lot easier trying to do this without the brake booster in. What you want to do is you want to set the length of the push rod sticking out of the brake booster. Now Tom sets this in when they're putting this all together, but what happens is when you install everything up, this push rod may now go further back than how it was set when Tom set it up. So what you want to do is you want to extend the push rod enough so that your master cylinder doesn't go on all the way anymore, and that's how you know that it's too far out. And then you begin to back it back down to where it goes on, and then give it just a tiny bit of play. I mean, we're talking like 1/16 play, and that is the level that you want it to be at. So right there, it is about 1/8 of an inch, or maybe even 3/16 of an inch too long. So I'm going to back it down, back down. All right, let's try that. All right, so there I did 3 turns, and it about took it in half. So I'm going to do 3 more turns. Oh, that hurt. This line is a good fit, but the other one I'm gonna have to adjust. This thing's actually pretty heavy. I could do curls with it, get a good workout in. Ooh, yeah. It's probably only like 15 pounds, but for these little arms, it's enormous. Can't even hold it anymore. It's like a bazooka. All right.